Okay, I'm back. Alright, so I cleaned the glass somewhat. Anyways, you can see anemones aren't happy. Had to, like I said, I had to pull the anemone rocks out, put everything back together. It is a huge pain in the rear end. I can tell you that. Seriously. Not fun. At all. So anyway, yeah, so I had to take all that apart too. I had to take that down. I mean, because they bury, like, again, they bury in the sand, so you gotta, keep an eye on them. It's definitely a two-person operation. And, of course, you knock corals over and stuff. You have a fully stocked reef tank. The only advice I can give is, if you have a fully stocked reef tank, which makes everything more difficult, as you can see, anemones and all that, I would definitely try to leave, don't stack everything so tight. I would definitely try to leave like an area like this open. If you're not, unless you have a fish trap and have the patience. Wrasses are smart, and they're real difficult. I tried a fish trap years ago. I couldn't catch this one fish for nothing. So this wrasse, he would not go in there. So, and the best thing to do, which I failed to do, my husband pointed out, the best thing to do is obviously take out as much rock as you can take out, just so that the area is more empty. So that's why I ended up taking this out. Kind of did that late in the game, but it made it a lot easier to catch the fish. The wrasses do jump, and so you had to make sure, even though the plexiglass, sits outside the water, you had to make sure that the wrasse didn't jump over, because that happened once. So that was a pain. So I can tell you, not a fun thing to have to do. But I know, and I'm not against acclimation boxes. However, I've seen plenty of people leave a fish in a wrasse in an acclimation box for, a week, several days, and then they go and take as soon as they unleash the wrasse, after everything seems fine, they get tore up. So that's why I just don't go that route. But anyway, so was my adventure today, and of course that took up probably several hours, and I have more cleaning to do. Made a mess, and then here is what I have in my sump to make it easier. The little wrasse is in here. I have this bottle here that's like, he's there at the bottom. I don't know if you can see him, but he's there at the bottom. There he is. There's a little sucker. Anyway, that little thing comes in handy. It was just a little plastic jug and drilled big holes in it. And wrasses in particular, if you try to put them in your sump and then you want to catch them like the next day to trade them in at the fish store, they're a big pain. I mean, they're a big pain in the butt. So then you gotta, tear up your sump trying to get the fish. So better just to leave them in there for tonight. So, but I mean, I wouldn't leave them in there for more than a day or so, or two at tops. You know what I mean? But so that was my adventure for the day, mixing wrasses. I'll be happy to answer anybody's question about catching fish. I've had plenty of experience. It's not fun. It's probably one of the things I hate the most, besides aquascaping. I hate that too. But other than that, I love my fish tank. The aquascaping is, I'm not real good at it. So, but I will definitely answer any questions about catching fish. Like I said, I use 2 nets, and they're kind of old. This one works the best. this one gets caught on everything, but it's good for, you know, ushering, you know, the fish. I use this one to catch it. So that is probably it. And again, you never know. I mean, again, the Cooter's wrasse is a leopard wrasse. It's not a holocaurus, which a Melenerous is a holocaurus. Who would have thought that a holocaurus would have caused all kinds of trouble? And if you take a look, the Cooter's leopard wrasse, there he is here, looks very similar to my earmuff wrasse right there. And actually, they're in the same group as the Moyer's wrasse, which is right there. So you would have thought that if any, you know, hostility would have been from these guys, but there wasn't. It was the Melenerous. So that's something you can't ever anticipate it. You know, fish stores will tell you, oh no, that one there is a different genus. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. So, I mean, a little tussling, you know, one way I always tell, you know, with wrasses, any of my fish, you know, when they get a new guy, they got to check him out. Like that right here, he's a holocaurus as well, this radiant wrasse. He got a little bit of a, you know, he stayed in the sand about 5 days, because when I first put him in, you know, he got a little bit, everybody's curious, checking him out, chasing him around a little bit, but no, you know, but they always give up after a day or two. But when you have a wrasse that is just absolutely, that's all they care about, and he would like chase him around, and then if he buried in the sand, he'd dig him up and he'd chase him some more, you know. So if you don't intervene, your new fish is as good as dead, you know, period. So and like years ago, I had a China wrasse way before this one here, and that thing was, I love that thing. I had him for a year or two, and I had a blue-headed wrasse at the time who died on me, and I loved blue-headed wrasse, and he was not, you know, non-aggressive, was great. So I got a second blue-headed wrasse. This is years ago. And that blue-headed wrasse, out of nowhere, within a couple of months, and keep in mind, the China wrasse was in the tank for a couple years before the second blue-headed wrasse came along. And that thing did everything he could to kill it. And eventually he did. And I found I had to take him out, you know, but by the time I took him out, it was too late. The poor China wrasse had died from his, you know, they get injured. So, if you don't take out the aggressor, then that's it. Your new fish isn't going to make it. And wrasses will kill it. You know, they have teeth and everything in their mouth, and, you know, they'll rip the fish to shreds, and they'll make sure it's dead. So, anyway, if anybody has any questions, that was my little excitement for today, which took pretty much the whole day. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks for, you know, if you guys like my video, share it, like it, subscribe to my channel. I certainly would appreciate it. Thanks and happy reefing. Have a great rest of your day.